were damaged or destroyed overnight. Russian missiles rained down on the city of Zaporizhia.
In Zaporizhia, miraculously, some residents survived.
7 months of requests. $1 million cost of firing. Most lethal Ukrainian weapon. Finally, U.S. deadliest ATACMS missile is already in Ukraine. The ATACMS is one weapon that has been too lethal for the West to give to Ukraine. Ukraine requested it for over 7 months, all to no avail, until now, when the U.S. seems most likely to ship out the missiles in an infinite number of batches. This change of mind came after Russia did the impossible. On October 10, 2022, a busy Monday morning in Ukraine, Russia unleashed a lethal barrage of missiles against civilian targets. The strikes had no practical military purpose. Russia simply bombarded Ukraine with 84 cruise missiles and 24 drones to cause a humanitarian catastrophe in the country. However, of these missiles and drones fired at Ukraine, President Zelensky said that Ukrainian forces shot down 56. Noting these, Western countries backing Ukraine have doubled down on their commitments to supply Ukraine with not just air defense systems that would shoot down incoming Russian artillery, but also the most advanced Western weapons that would keep the Ukrainian forces in an offensive position as they take on their invaders. One weapon capable of, and with a history of bringing such expectations to fruition, is the Army Tactical Missile System, or ATACMS. A weapon that is operated from a platform Ukraine has already grown accustomed to, the HIMARS. This is significant because, combined, there will be no land-based weapon of the Ukrainian forces more lethal than the HIMARS and ATACMS. HIMARS and ATACMS. One day after the October 10 attacks on Ukraine, the U.S. delivered 4 M142 high-mobility artillery rocket systems, more commonly known as HIMARS, to Ukraine. This would be the 5th batch of 4 HIMARS systems that the U.S. would deliver to Ukraine since the start of the war in February, bringing the total number of HIMARS sent from the U.S. to Ukraine to 20 units. The HIMARS has been a source of worry for the invading Russian forces. By the second batch of deliveries, the 8 HIMARS in Ukraine at the time successfully destroyed 30 Russian command stations and ammunition storage facilities, dramatically decreasing the intensity of Russian shelling and slowing their advance in eastern Ukraine. Recognizing the lethality of the HIMARS, Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu ordered his forces to prioritize destroying them. To Russia, the HIMARS is the most dangerous weapon available to the Ukrainian forces. The HIMARS is an American light multiple rocket launcher developed for the U.S. Army to attack, neutralize, suppress, and destroy targets using indirect precision. It is made up of 2 main components. The first is the new highly mobile and rugged family of medium tactical vehicles, which, powered by 290 horsepower Caterpillar 3115 ATAAC 6.6-liter diesel engines, have a range of 300 miles and a top speed of 53 miles per hour. The second component, which is mounted on the first, is the launcher that holds, aims, and fires the missiles that wreak havoc on targets. These missiles could be of 2 types, the GMLRS and the ATACMS. The GMLRS packs a 200-pound high-explosive unitary warhead containing an additional 51-pound PBX-109 high-explosive in a steel blast fragmentation case that shoots out a cluster of 182,000 preformed tungsten fragments on impact. 6 GMLRS rockets can be loaded into the HIMARS launcher at a time, each with a maximum range of 57 miles. That's just enough to protect the Ukrainian territory. The ATACMS, on the other hand, goes even further. With a maximum firing range of 190 miles, the missile can protect Ukrainian territory or fly deep into Russian territory to attack. The ATACMS is 13 feet long, 24 inches wide, weighs 3,690 pounds, and wields a 500-pound WDU-18B penetrating high-explosive blast fragmentation warhead. Once fired, the surface-to-surface missile can fly as high as 160,000 feet at a top speed in excess of Mach 3. For precision, the ATACMS has a GPS-aided inertial navigation guidance system that ensures the missile strikes its target spot on, or at least within 30 feet of it. The HIMARS can be loaded with a maximum of 1 ATACMS at a time, although its lid is patterned with 6 circles, like a standard GMLRS rocket lid. This identical pattern makes it more challenging for enemy intelligence to single out and attack the HIMARS trucks that hold the more lethal, more decisive, high-value ATACMS rockets. At least 6 times the $160,000 unit cost of the smaller GMLRS, the cost of firing a single ATACMS exceeds $1 million. This cost could soon be reflected in the weapon's capabilities in defending Ukraine, should it need to. However, the ATACMS wouldn't be the only heavy rocket artillery involved in the war, as Russia has some representatives of its own, such as the OTR-21 Tochka and 9K-720 Iskander, both of which could take on the ATACMS in terms of specifications. U.S. ATACMS versus Russian OTR-21 Tochka and Iskander. Heavy artillery weapons are decisive weapons. So decisive, in fact, that whichever country between the U.S. and Russia holds the more powerful of these weapons would likely win a conventional battle between both nations. The main contenders for both countries are the ATACMS, representing the U.S., the OTR-21 Tochka, representing Russia, and the 9K-720 Iskander, also representing Russia. All 3 missiles can carry both conventional and nuclear warheads, although how far they can deliver these warheads differ greatly. The ATACMS has a maximum range of 190 miles, while the Tochka has a maximum range of 43 miles, and the Iskander clocks in with a maximum range of 310 miles. The maximum speed of the ATACMS is in excess of Mach 3, while the Tochka is a Mach 5.3, and that of the Iskander is Mach 5.9. In terms of guidance systems, the ATACMS has GPS-aided inertial navigation guidance. The Tochka has an inertial guidance system and a passive radar, and the Iskander combines both, using both GPS and inertial guidance. Accuracy. The ATACMS usually lands at most 30 feet away from its target. The Tochka, 492 feet away from its target, and the Iskander, 22 feet away from its target. In terms of cost, the ATACMS cost $1 million, the Tochka costs $300,000, and the Iskander costs $3 million. The performance of the launch platforms of these missiles is also critical. The ATACMS can be launched from 2 different vehicles, the wheeled HIMARS and the tracked M270 MLRS. The HIMARS is powered by a 290 horsepower Caterpillar 3115 ATAAC 6.6-liter diesel. It has a maximum operational range of 300 miles and a top speed of 53 miles per hour. It has a crew of 3 and can carry 1 ATACMS rocket at a time. The MLRS is powered by a 600 horsepower Cummins VTA 903 diesel engine. It has a maximum operational speed of 300 miles and a top speed of 40 miles per hour. It has a crew of 3 and can carry 2 ATACMS missiles at a time. The launch platform for the Tochka is the BAZ-5921 Mobile TEL vehicle. The vehicle is powered by a 295 horsepower D20B300 or D20K300 diesel engine. The vehicle has a maximum range of 543.7 miles and a top speed of 43.5 miles per hour. It has a crew of 4 and can carry only 1 Tochka missile at a time. The launch platform for the Iskander is similar to that of the Tochka, with a similar 543.7-mile maximum range and 43.5 mile-per-hour top speed. The vehicle can also carry only one Iskander missile at a time. It's worth noting that the Iskander is a much newer missile than the other two missiles being considered. The ATACMS was introduced into service in 1991. The Tochka entered service in 1976, while the Iskander entered service between 2006 and 2008, at least 15 years after the ATACMS and 30 years after the Tochka. The decades of technological advancement have earned the Iskander an edge. However, the U.S. is already developing a 21st century heavy artillery missile of its own, known as the Precision Strike Missile, or PRSM for short. PRSM would be developed into the most advanced rocket artillery of the U.S. Army and retire the ATACMS. It would fly the farthest and the fastest while remaining launchable by the same MLRS and HIMARS launch vehicles. However, that's in due time. Today, the most lethal missile that can be launched from the HIMARS remains the ATACMS. It's as powerful as Ukraine would like, and more importantly, powerful as Ukraine would need to keep the Russian forces worried from 190 miles away and hopefully end the war. To increase the chances of ending the war, subscribe to this channel now and give this video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.